good morning Malacañang Press Corps at sa ating mga bisita. Welcome sa weekly economic briefing. Today we have Assistant Secretary Tony Lambino ng Strategy Economics and Results Group, Department of Finance.
Magandang umaga po. The Economic Development Cluster focuses on the promotion of rapid, inclusive, and sustained economic growth. It focuses on such issues as competitiveness, creation of jobs, and MSME development, and the development of national industries. The cluster is tasked with bringing about a deep and wide distribution of economic opportunities and benefits to the Filipino people. This is the first of a weekly briefing of the Economic Development Cluster, and we are doing this as part of many and multiple efforts so that the public is better informed about issues that they deem important. So the first speaker in this economic briefing is none other than our DTI Secretary, Ramon Lopez.
Okay. Thank you, ASEC Tony. Good morning, friends. So, the first part of the set of briefings will be on prices. You know, the concern of our president to make sure that prices would be stable para hindi po mahirapan ang ating mga kababayan. Kaya ho, ang DTI has been really intensifying the efforts in ensuring that prices are within the suggested retail price. And whenever we talk about suggested retail prices, please note that this covers basically the basic necessities and prime commodities. These are the products that would have SRPs. No? So it doesn't cover all products that you will see in the supermarkets. So we just identified ano mga produkto ang talagang basic na kakailanganin ng ating mga kababayan. So, just to give you an example, this will basically include yung mga sardinas, delata, corned beef, instant noodles, loaf bread, bottled water, coffee, powdered coffee of course, milk, yung evaporated, pati condensed, powdered milk din, sabon, the sabon na bareta at saka sabon na bath soap, no? And there are specific brands, no? So let me just give you an update on the prices because parati ho natin naririnig, no, na sa ating mga kababayan yung reklamo about sa presyo. So when we started implementing the training last January 1, as you know, maraming naging concern agad on pagtaas ng presyo daw kaagad, no? And presumably yung iba nagsamantala, may mga pagsasamantala, and even may mga warning na rin noon na even on the gas station, wag muna magtaas kasi may inventaryo pa sila. So yun yung past. And that in terms of yung prices of these basic necessity prime commodities, the DTI has already started its intensified efforts in making sure that prices would be stable. In fact, we were showing this particular example, that excise tax on diesel, yung direct impact niya is on the distribution cost. And whenever you compute for the impact of a price increase, of a component price increase, we have to understand that what percent that does it account for. So, for example, yung gasolina, yung fuel, will account for only about 5%. Nandun siya papasok sa distribution cost. In some companies, it would account for even 3%. But alam niyo naman sa sa accounting, meron din distribution cost doon sa cost of production, meron din doon sa pag-finish goods na. So ina-assume na natin, pagsamahin na natin 5%. And then you'll have to compute ano yung naging increase. At that time, hindi pa tumaas ang presyo ng world oil prices. So we were just factoring in the 250 excise tax and the VAT, which is about 280 total. And we apply it over at that time about 45 pesos per liter for diesel. So the increase there is 6%. Given yon kung i-apply na yung excise tax. Then you apply the 6% dun sa 5%. Yun yung sinasabi natin, you don't apply the 6% on the total po. Ano? So you apply it, ano yung contribution niya sa total production cost? At doon makikita na ang percent increase should only be 0.3%. Wala pang 1%. So that explanation was given at that time. We were also explaining na if the raw material was the one that changed, kunwari makikita natin dito sa chart, 70% of cost of goods, maybe I would say 50% or 60% would be raw materials. Pag yun ang nagbago ng presyo, yun ang malaking impact sa presyo. Pero kung ang nag-increase na price is just the 5% of that product cost, kaya sinasabi natin, maliit lang ang impact. So the 0.3% would be the increase. And in terms of peso, for a 15 peso can of, let's say, canned sardines, ang increase lang doon ay, if I remember right, 0.05, 5 lang, no? In fact, 4 centavos, 5 centavos. Yun lang yung magiging increase niya in actual peso term. Centavos lang. And what would normally happen, in fact, even for a larger increase, ina-absorb po yan ng mga manufacturers. Hindi nag-increase. That's why it's understandable na hindi magi-increase yung mga presyo. Hindi po, yun po ay based on facts and based on actual statistics that we have. Now, moving forward, we realize, next chart, we realize that yung price ng oil nag-increase not because of train. Ito, iba ng factor. This is the world oil price, crude oil price, that went up from, I think, about $50 per barrel to about $72 per barrel. So, computing the impact of that, assuming there's, I think, meron ng actual example, 12 pesos, but assuming 10 pesos lang, just for ease of computation. So, that's a 2.2% increase in oil price. You apply again that to the 5%. So, yung dati nating 0.3% na increase, ang based on actual akyat ng oil price, 1.1% ang increase niyan. That is equivalent to about, kung 15 peso again yung lata, delata, 16 centavos. Okay, impact on cost. Now, question ulit, i-absorb ba ng manufacturer or ipapasa na sa consumer? And based on statistics, I will show you later, na inabsorb din po ng ibang manufacturers. Okay, so, hindi pa, before that. So, yan yung 16 centavos impact. So, karamihan dito, why is it being absorbed? Because as we have also observed, whenever we go around, and I personally join some of the price inspection, kasi gusto ko pagdudahan yung mga result, baka mamaya binubola ako. No? So, I will join the price monitoring inspection sometimes. And I can see for myself, the prices are even 1 peso or 2 pesos lower than SRP sa isang lata. So, a 16 centavo impact on cost, so easy to absorb. Kasi ganun kalaki nga yung ina-absorb ng, sometimes it's the manufacturer, sometimes it's the retailer, giving further discount. Why are they doing that? Competition. Competition is the one that's driving prices down. Because there are, if you will notice, in many categories, lalo na if it's what we call FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods, there's so many brands, nag-aaway-away yan, and they do not really want, they would like to be the last one to increase their prices. Why? Di ba, tayong consumer, minsan wala tayong brand preference, pipiliin natin pinakamura. Unless may brand loyalty ka na kahit tumaas presyo niya, bibilin mo pa rin. But all things considered, siguro hindi siya pihikan sa quality. Dito na ako, mas mura ng 20 centavos, mas mura ng 50 centavos. Ganun lang, pamimili na. Or sometimes it will force them to try the other brand. As a brand owner, ayaw mo pasubukan yung ibang brand. Kasi baka magustuhan at hindi na bumalik sa'yo. Yun yung ayaw gawin ng mga brand managers. So they would be the last to propose a price increase. That's why they will continue to absorb until malaki na talaga yung impact sa cost that it's hitting them on the bottom line. And again, going back to earlier explanation, pag malaki na yung impact sa cost, chances are nanggaling yun dun sa major raw material. It's not from examples natin sa oil. And just to show na na-absorb siya, the next chart will show the prices 2 months before, and in fact, we compared it even to the start of the year, na there are no changes. No? Ito po, these are specific brands, specific sizes by the different products that you have. So you have there the canned sardines, condensed milk, the Bear Brand, the Refill, the Pinoy Tasty, yun yung loaf bread. We also monitor the Gardenia loaf bread, Lucky Me noodles, Payless, kasama rin yan. CDO meatloaf, Argentina, Wellington flour, etc. So the prices have not increased except for the last line. I think that's brown sugar. Yun yung from 40 pesos to 45 pesos. Okay, so may nag-increase din naman. Okay. Now, outside the Department of Trade and Industry, merong mga agriculture products na nasa palengke. We don't cover this. DA po ang nagko-cover nito. And however, we have this National Price Coordinating Council. We meet regularly, and for emergency purposes, we also meet like the one we conducted, I think, 3 weeks ago, just to check on the prices. So the data here is coming from the Philippine Statistics Agency. Sila ang nagmo-monitor ng mga agriculture prices nationwide. So what we are showing here is just a snapshot ng Metro Manila muna, otherwise we'll be showing a lot of data. But just to remind you that pag nag-monitor si PSA, by region po yan, and it's also arranged. May lowest, may highest, and then there is a prevailing price. So para consistent lang po kami, and we don't show, you can expect that the lowest and the highest, ito po yung median. Ito po yung prevailing price na pinapakita natin. And again, this is just Metro Manila for ease of comparison. Anyway, 70% or maybe 40% of the total market nationwide is usually accounted for by Metro Manila. Okay, so here you can see that yes, there are minor or minimal increases. We compared it to a year ago na, yung before all this train and whatever happened, no, since last year. So May of last year versus May of this year, May 25. So we saw here the increase in the price of rice from 36 to 40, 4 pesos. Regular milled po yun. On well milled from 41 to 42. But you will note that this, again, may not be attributable to train kasi, again, one explanation in all these agriculture products, the explanation here is really dependent on the supply and demand. Kaya malikot ang presyo ng agriculture product. In fact, it's not only the supply and demand nationwide. Supply and demand in that particular palengke, in that wet market. Kunwari, in that palengke, ang na-deliver na gulay, ganito lang, iba ang presyuhan for that day. Or na-deliver na manok, ganito lang. Isa pa, nationwide, iba-iba po ang presyo sa bawat palengke, bawat probinsya, because yung ibang probinsya malapit sa palaisdaan, yung so murang isda, yung ibang probinsya malapit sa manukan, poultry, so mura ang mga manok doon. So meron mga ganyang dynamics. That's why we were before suggesting to Secretary Piñol to put an SRP. But I'll relay that story later. But so therefore, iba-iba po talaga ang presyo ng agriculture products. That's why we're just using for purpose of explanation yung Metro Manila. So there are increases, as mentioned, on rice, pork liempo, chicken egg, they're all the same, pareho po versus last year. Ang isang malaking na increase ay yung galunggong from 140 to 160. Again, this is primarily because of yung supply of galunggong, no? Yung supply situation, yung harvest. Onion nag-increase ng from 60 to 80 pesos, and the brown sugar again, na-repeat dito, no, 40 to 45. However, please note na may mga agriculture products that went down. For instance, eggplant from 50 pesos to 40 pesos, ang garlic from 200 pesos to 80 pesos. So ang laki rin ng binaba. And also onions, cooking oil from 35 to 30 pesos. So the reality is meron ding mga bumababa na agriculture products. And as mentioned again, it's really dependent on the supply and demand situation for those particular periods. And to note also that there are non-basic necessity, hindi kailangan, non-essential, non-prime commodity na may mga price movements. We take note of that. Like the likes of tobacco and soft drinks. As we all know, precisely, gusto nga nating tumaas yung presyo noon or not necessarily gustong tumaas. Kung hindi, nagpataw nga tayo ng excise tax noon precisely to discourage consumption. Doon nga po may exercise. So we can expect, of course, a price increase in these products. At if you look at the inflation sources, isa yun sa mga lumalabas na mga nag-increase na price, di ba? Yung tobacco and beverages, non-alcoholic beverages. And then, of course, on price increase of oil products, again, this can be attributed nga to the movement of the global price of fuel. And of course, kasama na rin yung depreciation of the peso. Okay. Then there are non-basic necessity also, the likes of particular brands, no? Milo in sachet, 21% increase. Nor sinigang mix has price increase of 13%. Yung sinigang mix, so siguro pag hindi tayo kumain yan, hindi naman tayo mamatay, kaya hindi naman masasabing basic po siya. Pang mayaman lang po yan, kila Mr. Jonas po yan, kila Asek yan. Or tang powder juice drink. No? Ito, may tax ito, kaya talagang malaki yung jump, 84%. Kasi sugar sweetened beverage po yan. Ano? So talagang may mga increases na ganon. So what we're saying is that meron talagang mga nag-increase, pero yun yung mga non-basic. No? That's a reality. And siguro ito rin yung nakatulong sa pagtaas ng inflation. But at least para sa ating mga kababayan, yung mga basic necessity, you can always have access and you can also buy that at stable prices, especially, in fact, at some point in time, may nire-recommend na nga ako kung hindi nag-increase yung prices sa mga grocery supermarkets, then let's just buy sa groceries and supermarkets. Kasi makakasiguro kayo yung presyo ng SRP doon, sinusunod, in fact, lower pa than SRP. I went to Davao, I went to Cebu the other day lang, and Davao a few weeks ago, went to a grocery, at doon makita ko, in fact, in yung lata ng gatas, even 4 pesos lower than SRP. No? Bakit kasi tinanong ko, and all their products there in that grocery, banggitin ko na, it's Victoria Grocery in Davao. Lahat mura ng 2 pesos to 4 pesos. So tinanong ko rin yung may-ari, hindi ako sa nagre-reklamo. Sabi ko, pero bakit mura ang presyo sa inyo? Sabi niya, gusto ho naming makilala na mura dito sa amin para ang haba nga ng pila, ang daming tao. The other day, sasabihin nyo, baka yung malalaking grocery and supermarkets lang yan. So the other day, when I went to Cebu for may innovation conference kami doon, price check din kami. Sabi ko, show me a grocery na homegrown, hindi national account. In other words, hindi siya mga SM Robinson and ano pang Pure Gold, no? Hindi 'yon. So there's a homegrown brand, homegrown grocery called La Nueva. Started as a mini grocery, naging air condition na rin siya, pero talagang very Spartan yung ayos niya. At ang presyo rin 2 pesos lower. So ganun din, the same story. I think that was about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Yung pagkala namin, dumiretso na kami doon. Ang ganun kamura yung presyo, nakita na namin, ang haba na ng pila, middle of the day. At yung bumibili, maramihan. Doon din bumibili yung mga nasa sari-sari store. So bumibili sila doon, nagiging, and yung with that kind of price, lower than SRP price, kung ako'y sari-sari store, kahit patungan ko ng piso yon, baka pumasok pa sa SRP yung kanilang presyo. So what we're saying is that ito mga regular grocery in a not in the city, no, outskirt ng Cebu ito, and then ganun pa rin ang pricing po nila. On the sweetened beverages, babalikan ko lang, there is this recent direction also from the President na yung sweetened beverage, lalo na yung mga powder juice drink. So nalaman ng Presidente na it's mainly sugar. Yan naman ay hindi itinatago. If you look at the back, nakasulat, basta kung ano yung number 1 product item doon, ingredient, ibig sabihin, yun yung pinakamaraming, big part of that product. So ang una-una, sugar. So ibig sabihin, that drink is really mainly sugar and a few flavorings. So nag-worry yung Presidente. So paano yan? Yan pa naman ng usually pinangririgalo sa may sakit. Di ba? Tang, 8 o'clock, or ano, may sakit yung auntie mo, di ba? Bibigyan mo na. So sabi niya, there should be truth in advertising, or maybe he's referring to truth in labeling. So in the label, we were explaining, nando naman po siya sa likod. But I think what he wants to say now is dapat may warning. Para bang sigarilyo, di ba? May warning, this can be dangerous to your health. So may directive ang presidente na kailangan may warning itong mga sugar sweetened beverages. Kung high sugar, ilagay sa harap na containing high sugar. So para bang it can be dangerous to your health. So we'll issue the necessary order in that regard. But we'll have to talk to the stakeholders as we implement that directive from the president. Okay, then we cited the other products that increase. If you look at the inflation, again, so it's not the basic necessity in prime commodities, but we saw it in yung price increases sa beverage, tobacco, and of course the oil because of world oil prices, and in other services like restaurants. Dumaming kumakain sa labas kasi dumami yung pera rin ng tao, no? At yung computation nga ng DOF, if I remember right, 12 billion out of the tax savings, no, yung hindi na nagbayad ng tax because of the tax exemption. That's 12 billion pesos float. Extra money of the people kasi hindi na kinolekta ng government. Tapos meron ka pang savings sa education, sa health, na ang pera at saka yung spending ng government sa infrastructure, na yung pera daw na that's really going around the economy is about 32 billion extra per month, no? So that's 32 billion pesos extra. Yung sa construction na ginastos, it goes to the pockets of the workers also. So umiikot yan. It goes back to the people. Nagkaroon ng trabaho, over 90,000 jobs in the construction. Kaya nga pag naghahanap na ng mga ibang trabahador, nawawala na rin. And that's what we need. That's why we have to have investments and job creation activities so that the income or the wages will go up naturally. It's because of, again, supply and demand of jobs versus supply and versus labor, no? So yun po yung dapat ambisyonin natin. And that's why I also have that comment on mga wage increases. Medyo dangerous po yun, but I guess just to address certain considerations, pinag-uusapan naman po yun sa mga regional tripartite wage boards, no? So, but I would say medyo delikado po yun. But nevertheless, so let them handle the wage increases. But what we're saying, the more sustaining solution for wage increases would be more jobs to be created and more investments to come in. Ayan ang solusyon sa pag-increase ng wages. Now, going back to the prices, so next chart. So given the mandate of the President na concern sa prices at yung mga reklamo sa prices, paigtingin, we intensify the price monitoring activity. So ang DTI, again, fact statistics basis po tayo, we cover 400 stores weekly in the NCR. The universe we count is about 610 in NCR. So we are increasing it to 600, halos agad na, to cover more groceries and supermarkets. Again, these are not just the big groceries, pati yung small groceries. And from 400 to 600 in NCR. And outside NCR, 500 accounts outside NCR. So that's being done already. Of course, we have some initiatives na we hope to launch soon. We are just collecting the number of stores that will join us. We are launching a DTI Suking Tindahan. It's a project that we really want to expand the coverage ng SRPs. Now, when we toyed with this idea several months ago, na isamang SRP sa mga sari-sari store, maraming nagreklamo sa sari-sari store. Alam niyo naman yan, halos 1 million po yan, or even more, no? Yung mga unregistered yan. So, of course, pinakinggan po natin sila, but this time, our approach will be voluntary. Because we understand the trade. And the trade, meron po dyan parate sa mga neighborhood na malalaking sari-sari store na volume, ang tawag high-frequency account. Hindi po yan grocery, hindi yan supermarket, pero sari-sari store na napakalaki na parang sila na rin yung jobber and wholesaler in that area. So, ang gagawin po natin, we will identify those stores and invite them to be part of this DTI Suking Tindahan, kung saan we will accredit them, put a seal, so that people will know that the stores are carrying SRP price, basic products, basic necessity and prime commodities. So it becomes voluntary, but the marketing advantage to those stores, makikilala sila na mura sila doon. So definitely mag-gravitate it will attract more customers, mag-gravitate yung mga tao papunta po sa mga tindahan na yon. So that's a program we intend to launch hopefully by the start of July. Ayan. So we can start with ang estimate po nito, I think over 1,000 of this profile of these stores, no? And so pag sinabing over 1,000, we will be hitting at least one per municipality, more or less, no? And hopefully more, and this is not limited to the major sari-sari stores. This can include cooperatives who would like to participate, because cooperatives have a captive market, mga members nila. So they can also participate and be accredited as a DTI Suking Tindahan. Next chart, as mentioned a while ago, that we also suggested, since the DTI covers grocery supermarkets, hindi po namin covered yung palengke. At dahil sa palengke, nandun yung mga fresh goods, chilled products, manok, baboy, karne, gulay, prutas. So we suggested kay Secretary Piñol maglagay tayo ng SRP. Immediately sagot po niya, given the yung panawagan ng mga kababayan natin, maglalagay daw po ng SRP. Metro Manila muna para again to solve that problem yung binanggit natin kanina na pag outside Metro Manila, iba-ibang SRP, depende kung saan ang lugar mo, kung malapit sa Palaisdaan or sa Manukan. So gagawin po niya ay Metro Manila, at nagtawag na siya ng stakeholders meeting po para dito. I think the other day may nilabas na siyang ilang produkto na na-identify na isasama sa SRP. Wala pa lang nabanggit doon na I think ongoing stakeholders discussion on the meat products, the chicken, pork, and the karne, the beef. But I think nabanggit na po doon ilang gulay at saka isda. So that there will be an SRP on those products. So the reason why we suggested mag-SRP sa palengke kasi kung wala SRP, hindi mo mababasihan kung may profiteering. So we said that if there's an SRP, the retailers would more or less be guided and be in a way restricted, to behave also and to price within that SRP. And also other actions to be taken, close coordination with the stakeholders to ensure reasonableness of the BNPC, to activate also consumer hotlines, and to empower the consumers. Yung DTI po, merong mobile app, e-presyo app. You can download it. Libre po yun. DTI doesn't charge anything. And that you can see there anong produkto, anong groceries, anong presyo. So you'll be able to compare saan mura yung, let's say, corned beef na ganitong brand. So you can open up, let's say, the nearby supermarkets, and you might want to go to the supermarket na gusto mong puntahan, kung saan lowest yung price nun. So those are the initiatives. The last chart, I think, would be the contact numbers. Tama ba? Ayan. So please note yung contact numbers. So maybe I'll stop there. I have some charts, but maybe baka sa ano na lang to. Baka better discussed by DOF or on the causes of inflation. But somehow natakal naman natin na yung causes ng inflation are really brought about heavily by the world crude oil prices. The rice price, because nagka-shortage nga po from the NFA, but hindi nag-shortage naman yung commercial rice. But somehow nag-increase ng mga 1 to 3 pesos per kilo. And then the tobacco and other causes. Thank you.
Okay, Secretary, may question ng MPC. Pia Gutierrez, ABS-CBN.
Sir, may we know kung ano po yung napag-usapan sa previous cabinet meeting on the alleviation measures in response to the implementation of train?
Okay. So, yun po yung hindi ko pinesent kasi nandun yung sa susunod ko ipe-present. But we can mention, kasi hindi po department namin ito, but offhand, I can just make mention of the other efforts. As you may have heard, probably, yung DSWD is taking care of the unconditional cash transfer. They have about 10 million to cover. I understand that as of May, meron ng na payout na about 10 billion via cash card or OTC, over the counter with conduits. 2.7 million po ang beneficiaries out of the 10 million beneficiaries. They commit that by end July, about 80% of the 10 million will receive the full amount of 2,400 for 2018. By mid-September, they commit about 100%. Hindi about. They commit 100% of 10 million to receive full amount of 2,400 for 2018. The other efforts are with the DOTR, Pantawid Pasada program. They said that by July, they'll start the distribution of debit cards to all public utility jeeps franchise holders. Discounted medicines by the end of third quarter, ang DOH may administrative order to facilitate implementation by January 1, 2019. BIR will also have to issue revenue issuance on this. As you know, also on the rice, there's that effort to alleviate the supply situation. That's why about a month ago, the President directed the importation of rice, G2G, government to government, para mapabilis. I think that's the 2 batches of 250,000 metric tons. And an update there is on the rice is for a while po, no? From the NFA, sinabi po nila as of June 19, may mga dumating na po at ibinababa na po sa Surigao, 100,000 bags completed. Cagayan de Oro, 61,023 bags. General Santos, 63,694 bags. Subic, 22,300. We'll send you a copy of this. Sa Tabaco, Albay, 18,503. Batangas, darating daw sa June 21 to 24. Basta ang total po ay 265,520 bags.
Okay.
And then, actually, as this is happening, the NFA also observed some reduction in prices of rice already. That's why even in the inflation figure, we see that tapering off, no? From the previous month of 4.5, umakyat lang ng 4.6. So almost month on month, 0% growth. And with all this coming, I mean the supply, addressing the supply of rice, and even on sugar na tumataas, nakita natin na nag-allow ng ang DA at SRA ng importation of 200,000 metric tons of sugar.
Okay, Ace Romero.
Secretary, you mentioned about wage hike proposals being dangerous. Can you elaborate on
Oo,
that?
kasi ang problema ho natin sa wage hike, mandated. Again, we're referring to regional, not national. Even for regional, there are, of course, the reality is that hindi po lahat wage earners. Pag nag-increase tayo dyan, tataas ang cost. Pag tumaas ang cost, baka ito rin magtulak ng pressure, tumaas ang presyo ng mga bilihin. And of course, ang tatamaan, buong sambayanan, hindi lang yung wage earners. So those who did not benefit from the wage hike will also get affected. So yun po yung diferensya doon. But if we are successful in maintaining industrial peace, there's peace and order, rule of law na pinapaigting po ng ating Pangulo, no corruption, good business environment, investment should come in, create more jobs, yan ang magda-drive up ng wages. We all know this. Particular example po, reality. We're looking for, let's say, people, mga drivers, wala ka nang makuha, lahat nag-Grab and dati Uber. Ang presyo ng driver, in fact, some of my friends would say, tinaasan ko na ng 500 or 1,000 per month, wala pa rin. 2,000 per month, wala pa rin siyang makuhang driver. No? Addition yon dun sa mga increase na binibigay nila at wala pa rin makuha. That's because of, again, greater demand, no, than the supply. Parang yun ang, kung ikaw ay masipag at marunong ka mag-drive, walang dahilan, di ka makahanap ng trabaho. Mayroong naghahanap pa natin driver. Or construction workers. Ang dami na nga daw napupunta sa construction, sa build. So, yan ang nagda-drive up ng wage. That's a better solution.
So, Secretary, you think it's not yet advisable to adjust wages for now?
It's not, sige, ganito na lang. There can be consideration because of the inflation. So if you ask me, there can be a minimal adjustment. But that should not be more than what is necessary. Maybe that's the point. Because you will really create a strong pressure on inflation. But again, it's not, for me, it's not a national policy. We will let the regional tripartite wage board handle the different economic situation in the different regions. Because in some regions, kung wala namang inflation, dapat wala naman sigurong wage adjustment doon. Kaya po ginawa yan by region. So, depende sa situation sa region.
Thank you,
Okay,
Secretary.
Marisa Lalili, TV5.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir,
Morning.
just to follow up, you said minimal increase. How minimal, sir?
Oh, yun nga, depende sa inflation in that area. Kung anong naramdaman na inflation ng bawat region, that can be a basis for adjustment. Again, just to give consolation dun sa mga affected parties. But again, kung yung tatanungin, sana wala na lang. And I'm not against the labor. Kasi ang mangyayari nga, ang tama ng inflation, baka mas tamaan yung buong sambayanan. So yun yung concern lang natin doon.
So-
Rather than the wage earners lang.
So definitely, you don't agree, sir, dun sa call ng ilang labor sector for a nationwide wage hike?
No.
Okay.
Dangerous po.
Okay. Sir, just to follow up about dun po sa na-mention nyo kanina on health warning doon sa sugar-sweetened drinks, how soon will it be implemented, sir?
Give us maybe 1 or 2 months para maayos natin yung implementation.
Mhm. Ano po bang documents ang kailangan doon? Will the DTI issue administrative
No, actually, this
order?
will have to talk or coordinate with FDA also. And so beyond the labeling requirements, there can be also part of the label such warning. So it will have to be with the FDA of the DOH, of the Department of Health, that will really execute this particular policy or ruling. Kasi sila, under sa kanila yung mga labeling. But as we develop that, we'll have to discuss with the stakeholders. No? Una-una, we identify anong produkto to. Yung talagang halos sugar lang ang laman. No? Or yung mga high sugar din. You know, marami rin. If you look at the internet, I googled it, ang daming mga high sugar products, food and beverages. So we will have to select ano talaga dito. Especially kung ang main ingredient is sugar. And it's not really clear on that product. So it becomes really a health risk. So because many people hindi po tumitingin sa likod yung ingredients. Pag tumatanda ka na, you tend to look at the ingredients sa tobacco. So kung titingnan mo ano yung main ingredient nito, yun yung unang sasabihin dun eh. And according to the contribution yun eh. So, pero kung bata ka lang, kuha ka na ng kuha.
Okay, Tina Panganiban Perez.
Sir, connected po doon, ano pong naging trigger ni Presidente doon sa sugar warning?
Ano po, dahil napag-usapan po, isa dito sa product na site na tumaas, yung banggitin ko na, yung tang, no, which is just a representation ng lahat ng powder juice drink. Tapos sabi niya ay, ba tumaas kasi ito nga yung may excise tax. Bakit may excise tax? Kasi high sugar po yan. And in fact, the ingredient says it's really mainly sugar. So sabi ba, delikado pala yan. Sabi niya, meron ba tayong yun yan, binanggit niya truth in advertising or truth in labeling. So dapat i-bandera rin yan.
Sir, wala naman pong personal health concerns si Presidente about sugar.
Wala. Ako meron. Pero si Presidente, wala. Hindi na pag-usapan yung diabetes or what. It's really the concern. Kasi ang kwento niya, si Presidente, akto talaga, yung feel ko yung concern niya dun sa tao. Sinasabi niya, naku, yan pa naman yung nireregalo. Siya nagsabi yan. Yan pa naman yung nireregalo sa mga auntie, yung mga matatanda. Tapos nung pala binibigyan mo, purong sugar pala yon. Kasi sila naman timpla ng timpla. Tapos yung kinamatay, diabetes.
Okay.
No, pero sinabi po niya yung example niya. So he is really concerned na kung ito ay naibibigay lamang ng walang warning.
Last three questions at Pia Gutierrez. And, okay, marami pa pala. Pia Gutierrez.
So sir, may posibilidad na we will be going beyond sugar-sweetened beverages dito sa health warning na ito?
Posible po.
Ano po sir yung nakikita natin?
Well, ang mga high sugar, as we all know, mga energy drinks. Diba? High sugar yon. Actually, ano pa ba? Actually, the rest would be yung medium sugar, which is of course the soft drinks. Pero obvious na yun nandun na yun. No? So, we'll have to identify alin tong mga high sugar. Maybe the candies, I don't know. Sugar lang talaga din yun, no? Halos sugar yan. So, kailangan lang may mga ganung warning.
Sir, on another topic, balik po sa SRP kasi there's a suggestion by former DTI Undersecretary Vic Dimagiba for DTI to expand yung coverage ng SRP to other brands of basic goods. Kasi daw po ngayon, ilang brands lang ng basic goods ang sakop ng SRP. For example, sa sardinas, if I could mention a brand, di daw sakop ng SRP yung Ligo o Saba na kilalang masang brand din daw po.
Oh. So, we can study that, no? We can consider that. But you know, as mentioned, in that particular category, there are maybe 20 brands. You don't have to cover all. As long as there are brands na may option si consumer bumili ng brand at available yung mura na yon, I mean, it's good for the consumers already. But it doesn't matter. We can cover the others also. Walang problema rin yon. It's just that ang purpose po ng ating paglalagay ng SRP, the consumers will always have the cheaper option. And to us, that's more important.
Last na lang, sir. Sir, could you respond? Kasi dun sa yung naging monitoring din po ng group ni Yusek, former Yusek Dimagiba, yung grupong Laban Consumer, they monitored na, like for example, sa sardinas, sir, there's a 3 to 11% increase daw po dun sa price ng sardinas. And among other things. Sabi po niya, palagi daw pong sinasabi ng DTI na pasok sa SRP ang presyo ng mga minomonitor na produkto, pero yung DTI po mismo nag-a-adjust din po ng SRP.
Oh, ito po yung presyo at brand yung nakita natin. So andyan naman, pasok sa SRP po yung ating ano. And there are no changes in the SRP. But ganito yan So, pwede namang mag-increase ng SRP, basta informed din kami. We're not saying naman na it will be forever this price. No? So, basta within reason, at saka, again, as we mentioned before also, if there are just maybe one brand filing for an increase, wala pong issue yon because there are still other choices. No? It becomes an issue and wherein DTI will really look into the reason for price increase pag lahat ng brand sabay-sabay nag-increase. Parang, bakit? May usapan ba to? Will have to be, yun yung, ano ba to? Meron ba tong collusion? So that's the thing that we have to prevent. Pero kung pa isa-isang brand, as mentioned earlier, hindi po yan para maging cause of concern because as mentioned, ito po yung last na lang gustong gawin. Ano.
Okay, from PNA to be followed by RJ.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Chris Muda
Hi,
from
Chris.
PNA. Sir, do we still see the need to implement pa yung SRP on rice po? Diba? Sabi niyo dati na you're looking at implementing SRP on rice. And then also, with the depreciating peso po, are there new requests from the manufacturers na nataasan pa po yung mga presyo nila? And balik lang po doon sa SSB, sir. Sir, have we seen the target impact on consumption for tobacco and SSB after the implementation of higher excise tax? Thank you.
Okay. So again, na-miss ko yung second. Pero on the rise, yung SRP, we'll have to check no, kung ano yung maging movement nito, yung behavior. Kung bumaba na below, like a commercial, importante dyan yung regular and well-milled rice will be in the vicinity again of below 40 pesos. You know, bumalik yan sa 38, 39. Then there may be no need no, to have an SRP there. Kasi pag meron ng NFA rice na 27 pesos and 32 for regular and well-milled respectively, may pressure na to bring down the prices. You can see commercial rice also behaving below 40 pesos. So pag ganon, no need na for an SRP, if you ask me. But of course, bahala si Secretary Piñol dyan. The second is on...
Depreciating peso po, sir. Request from
Ako may request,
manufacturers.
wala sa akin. Ayun po, ASECNES, may mga request ba, company? Sa ngayon, wala. Ang nag-request yung, recently, may mga nagtaas ng SRP. I think Argentina brand specifically, Argentina brand and another brand. Dalawang brand yon na nag-increase because of tin plates, not because of train. Tin plates, yung delata, yun yung nag-increase sa world market. Parang yung papel, yung remember, tumaas din ng papel, kaya yung notebook nag-increase. So yung mga major raw materials na yun, pag yun ang nag-increase, yun ang magre-request ng mga price increase.
Okay.
But so ngayon, wala pang ibang nag-request after that. The last question is SS sweetened. The question is the impact. Ito nga nakakatawa dahil hindi nakakatawa, nakakatuwa. No, na yung like I think on soft drinks kung tama yung monitoring din ng DOF, I think yung volume nila is somehow not that affected, no? In other words, kahit na tumaas ang presyo at may tax, marami pa rin bibili. For the first few months bumaba, pero I think pumipick up ulit. That shows na medyo inelastic yung demand for soft drinks. Ibig sabihin, hindi masyadong gumagalaw sa paggalaw ng presyo. Na pag tumaas ang presyo, babagsak. So ngayon, ang nakita po natin ay bumagsak sandali, I think 1-2 months, pero nagpipick up ulit. So tatanungin ko kayo ba bumibili pa rin ng mga soft drinks? Diba? So, that shows na talagang bumibili pa rin kayo.
Last 5 questions, RJ, Rose, Tina Mendez. Sige, RJ. Bernadette, go.
Hi, sir. You described, sir, the increase in prices as minimal. Pero as compared last year, how do you describe the movement? Hindi ba siya biglaan?
Ay, parang, if you ask me, hindi naman. Tsaka very minimal nga yung nakita natin, even on the inflation. In fact, tumaas lang nung last 2 months, di ba? 4.5, 4.6. Before that was about, I think about 4.1, 4.2, and 3.9. So, gradual naman yung increase. In fact, what I'm saying, nag-plateau na. No? Hindi na masyadong increase. 0% na yung month-on-month. So, hindi naman po siya biglaan.
Hindi siya biglaan, pero parang yung publiko umaaray sila. Sir, is it not an indicator na we are not so prepared for this?
No, hindi po sa ganon. Kasi pinapakita ho natin yung based on survey. And it shows naman, wala naman talaga nag-increase. We have to be careful din sa mga sinasabi po ng publiko na there is what we call default answer. Pag tinanong mo ang tao, tumataas ba ang presyo? Ay, oo, tumataas ho, laki-laki. Asan ho ba yung binili nyo? Baka mamaya wala naman siyang mapapakita. But we're not saying hindi tumaas, di ba? Kinakita nga natin, may mga ilang produktong tumaas. What we're saying, it's not a general increase. At if at all, lalo na kung agriculture products, siguro yung supply nung panahon na yon naapektuhan, kaya yung paninda dun sa palengke na yon mas mataas kesa sa paninda sa kabilang palengke. Depende kasi yan sa sinusupply na sa bawat palengke. So, ang sinasabi po natin, pag nagtanong ho kasi tayo sa publiko, talaga namang madaling sabihin, ay tumaas ho ang presyo. Pero kung ibabase natin sa mga figures, ay meron naman nagsasabi talaga base sa actual prices na generally stable at meron namang produktong nagtaas ng kaunti. Yan po yung reality.
Okay.
Sir, sa listahan niyo po ng mga manufacturers, ilan po doon yung nag-increase ng SRP?
Yung pong sa chart ko po kanina.
Mga ilang porsyento po doon?
Dito po sa listahan ng basic necessity and prime commodities, wala hong nag-increase. Pero po, pag outside the basic necessity and price ang commodity, meron hong mga nag-increase, yun hong sinight namin. So, yun po yung, but those are the non-essentials. Yun yung sinasabi natin. Ay, importante yung bantayan natin yung essential products. Basic necessity po. Wala na tayong pakialam dun sa mga non-essentials. In fact, tulad ng sigarilyo, ng soft drinks, binigyan pa nga ng excise tax. So we can expect prices really to go up.
Sir, can you explain, kailan kailangang pumasok yung DTI sa pag-i-intervene ng setting SRPs?
Binanggit ko ho kanina na pag sabay-sabay nag-increase ang isang sektor, papasok ang DTI to check, to validate the cost structure, kung ano ang magiging source talaga, if there are reasons behind that request for price increase. Pag sabay-sabay. Pero kung isang brand lang ang nag-increase, bahala silang mag-increase. Dahil yung ibang brand mababa and people will simply gravitate towards that brand. It's
Pag
competition
sabay-sabay,
po.
sir, pag sabay-sabay, hindi i-approve.
At saka, hindi automatic ang sinasabi natin, hindi automatic na i-approve siya kung hindi pag-aaralan ano talaga ang dapat na price increase doon. Because kung sabay-sabay sila, there must be a reason. Bakit? Anong cost structure ang nagbago dyan? Anong nag-increase na cost? So, pwede mag-i-increase po yon, pero anong percent ang dapat? Tulad ng tin plates, nung nag-increase sila, nag-request ng increase, re-request sila 1 to 2 pesos. But ang sinabi po ng DTI, 50 centavos to 1 peso lang ang range dapat. At yun naman yung sinunod din nila. So, meron hong ganong instances na the DTI will influence them on ano yung price increase kung if it's a general problem. But if it's just a company-specific problem, we don't intervene. It's a free market po. But we always assure consumers that prices will be reasonable and stable and there is competition. Ang importante po, rather than bantayan ang presyo, bantayan kung may competition doon sa industriya na yun. Go to the groceries, makita po ninyo ang dilata, ilang brands. Maduduling kayo sa dami ng brands, di ba? So, ibig sabihin po, may competition dyan. Punta kayo sa beverages, again, ang daming brands. So, yan po, iba-ibang positioning yan, iba-iba ang presyo. So, there will always be an option for consumers to select anong gusto niya. He will sometimes select not the cheapest one, but simply a brand that he or she likes. Because that's brand preference. Willing siya magbayad ng 2 pesos more, 5 pesos more. Even your phone, what is your phone? You're willing to buy 10,000 more for a phone than the other phone. Di ba? That's branding.
Okay, thank you, RJ. Last for Rose Novenario, Tina Mendez, Alarina, and then last si Bernadette.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, sinabi nyo kanina, natutol kayo dun sa wage hike. So halimbawa po, ano po yung pwede nyong i-suggest na makakatulong po dun sa mga uring manggagawa? Kasi po yung government sector, meron po silang komisary na nakakabili sila ng mas mababang halaga ng grocery items. Sa private sector po, pwede po bang i-suggest ninyo na magkaroon sila ng halimbawang discount coupon para sa mga manggagawa sa mga prime commodities po sa ilang malalaking groceries or supermarkets?
So kung discount coupon, pwede ho namin pag-aralan. Oo, kasi ang problema lang naman dyan, sino ang sasagot nun? Sino magbibigay ng discount? Is it the company? Or are you suggesting government ang magbibigay
para
ng
pong
discount coupon?
isa-subsidize?
Hindi na ho siguro kailangan kasi meron naman po, pinakita natin na halos wala namang nag-increase dito sa presyo nga ng basic necessities. Ang importante ho, ako panawagan ko sa labor or kung sino mang sektor, mag-cooperate tayo na gawing kooperatiba lahat yung action natin. Huwag natin takutin yung investor para mas maraming pumasok na investor at pakita natin may industrial peace. Ang mga Pilipino willing magtrabaho, masipag, magagaling, gusto pang mag-training. Kasi yun ho importante. Generation of jobs at mag-training tayo bawat isa para maging marketable tayo bawat isa. Doon tataas ang sweldo natin. Kesa humihingi tayo ng wage increase. Lahat po tataas kung meron hong job generation priority and then skills training. And yun po ang solution ng wage increase sa akin.
Follow up lang po. Ano po yung maitutulong ng gobyerno para makaagapay yung mga manggagawa sa pagtaas ng singil sa kuryente, sa tubig,
Siguro yun
at
po
pasahe
yung,
po?
Siguro yun po yung unconditional cash transfer.
Sa working sector po?
Kasama, sa working sector, lumaki na ho ang sweldo nila kasi lower tax rate. Lower tax rate nga ho. Lumaki ang take home nila. A 21,000 peso wage earner will generate 21,000 for the whole year out of savings. Parang may extra month bonus siya for the year. Yun po ang computation na lumalabas. Kung 50,000 ang iyong ikita, yung net savings mo, yung net take home mo, nag-increase ng 50,000 for the year.
So tingin niyo po sapat yun?
Opo.
Thank you.
Okay, Tina Mendez.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, ano po bang role ng DTI sa pag-regulate naman ng presyo ng LPG yung sa pangluto, sir? Kasi medyo parang
TOE, ano?
in the last two months, 30 to 50 pesos ang increase per 11
I think
kilogram.
affected. DOE ho ang namamahala dyan. At ang alam ko po ay affected din yan ng mga paggalaw ng world oil prices. So beyond our control po yun. Doon sa price monitoring, what I remember is that kerosene is going down. Hindi siya kasabay nung increases ng iba. So kerosene is also used sa pambahay, di ba? Panluto. Pero yung LPG nga, kasabay din siya ng mga ibang oil products. But it's beyond our country's control.
Sir, kasi di ba hindi lang siya sa mga stations, may mga parang stores na accredited dealers hindi na mo-monitor ng DTI to check on the prices.
DOE yan.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, Celerina.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Sir, follow up ko lang yung sa wage, yung effect if ever. Do you have any simulation as to like how many jobs could be lost if nagkaroon ng medyo mataas na increase?
I've not seen one yet. I'll have to check with NEDA, siguro, unless DOF has computation. So, that's a good question. So, we'll have to work on that.
Follow up din dun
But you're correct in saying na yun din ang problema sa nagwe-wage increase. Actually, the impact is some employers will simply, sige, magbawas tayong tao. So again, jobs will be lost. So yun yung tingnan din ng mga laborers. Mabuti na nung may sweldo ngayon na kung talagang kasya naman ay pagandahin natin, paggamitin natin. Pero kasi kung ipersa natin yung malaking increase, baka naman mabawasan ang employment.
Sir, you have also mentioned that if there will be any increase, it should be minimal only. Like for instance, in Metro Manila, since ito yung, kumbaga, medyo mas mataas yung sweldo compared sa other regions, what do you think is that minimal increase?
Now we leave it to the regional tripartite wage board.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Kasi sila ang mag-aaral ng inflation at mga iba pang factors.
Last question, Bernadette.
Sir, clarify ko lang, sir. When you said you're recommending to the public to buy in groceries po, since some of them sell their products at a lower price than SRP, are you saying that consumers should stay away from wet markets if they want cheap food items po?
Yes. Kung tingin nilang sigurado ang mura sa grocery, doon sila pumunta.
Oh, okay.
No? Of course, from fresh produce, pagpilian nila saan mura. No? Minsan, mura rin sa grocery. Kung volume buy yung grocery na yon, big account. Mas malinis. Kaya, it's a good competition between supermarkets and versus public market. Talaga pong may competition yan. So, ang taong mamili, saan mas mura. And sigurado, sa manufactured goods, mura sa groceries and supermarkets. At dadagdagan pa yung DTI suking tindahan. Pero sa fresh goods, meron din yan sa grocery, sila na po mag-compare. And that will be competition working. Kasi I'm sure yung mga supermarkets hindi rin nagpapauli. In fact, when we talk to one, tumitingin din sila ng presyo sa palengke. They don't want to be really different from the wet market. Kaya that's competition. Let them compete.
Tapos sir, gaano po kababa yung ibababa ng sugar price po pagdating ng importation, sir?
Sandali. So, tungkol lang, let them compete para it's also a natural correcting mechanism. In other words, yung public market, hindi magtataas ng presyo kung alam niyang baka bumili na lang sa grocery and supermarket, chilled section ito. No? So, magbe-behave din ang public market pag ganon, wet market. Yung question nyo po, magkano ka babalik ko siguro sa normal price below 50 pesos per kilo. Because ang huling, well, nabasa ko rin sa news to, at saka yung huling nag-report sa amin, yung 50 pesos per kilo naging 65. I think 2 weeks ago. So, dapat bumaba siya below 50.
Kailan,
Kasi
sir?
world market price bumaba eh.
May date na po ba, sir, kung kailan dadating yung importation po?
Ngayon pa lang na-approve po, last Monday, I think. So, last Monday, last week. So, give it a month siguro para dumating yung sugar.
Tapos, sir, last na po. Yung nakita ko po sa presentation nyo na merong 80% price increase sa tang po. So, anong period po yun? As of May this year?
As of May, yeah. As
Compared
of May,
to
compared
last
to
year?
last year. I think that
okay.
was compared to 2 months or 3 months ago. Is a tang? Ano ba yung ano natin doon? First, well, tignan ko. Kailan nga ba? Compared to... No, this is really compared to last year. Kasi nandiyan na yung impact nung excise tax.
Okay.
Na talagang the government imposed that excise tax to discourage consumption.
So, si President po, kaya po siya na-bother dun sa tang kasi nga may 80% price increase
No,
po.
no, no. Na-bother siya. Okay na yung excise tax. Pero na-bother siya nung nalaman niya yung health risk then if you continue to give mga tang or other sugary products, high sugar products, to other people na without that warning na hindi mo alam high sugar pala yung binibigay mo. So kailangan, ang sabi niya, kailangan may warning ang mga produkto na yan para guided naman yung bibili at yung tatanggap, no? Para alam mo kung magte-thank you ka, no? Thank you. Wala, high sugar pala yun.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, sorry, sir. Last question, Pia Gutierrez, please. Microphone, please.
Sir, now that the wage earning public generally has higher disposable income, is there a campaign for or a drive from the government to educate the public on how they should spend or invest their money? Kasi I understand during the previous
Oo,
briefings,
tama.
nabanggit na po na mas marami ang pumupunta na lang sa mga fast foods
Oo.
instead of
Kaya nga yung-
investing their money.
Tama, yung restaurants nga, tumaas yung growth no? And that's not bad also, no? With more money into the system, to the negosyo, consumer, it's a larger consumer base, that's good for business. But of course, we have to educate the people correctly na the other way, if you want to be, of course, wealthier, is to maging masinop, no? Yung na-increase natin na out of savings from taxes, ay pag-isipin din natin mag-ipon at mag-invest. So ang mga maraming pwedeng pag-invest na, no? There's a wide array of investment choices, but the point is may savings ka at i-invest mo yon para productive yon. So para hindi naman all into consumption. Okay.
So may efforts, sir, from the government to educate the public on
Well, in our own little way, in the DTI, we conduct these sessions on entrepreneurship. Kasama po dun the financial literacy on how to best manage your money as a business, as an SME, a micro entrepreneur. Maging masino para gamitin sa negosyo yon. But maybe from finance or treasury, as they promote the bonds, may mag-educate to encourage more investment kasi may immediate return yon, or hindi naman immediate return, may regular return guaranteed by government na ranging from 3 to 5%, no? Depende kay Asek Tony kung magkano ibibigay niya.
Okay, maraming salamat, Pia. Maraming salamat po sa ating mga bisita. Thank you,
Thank
DTI
you.
Secretary Ramon
Thank you po.
Lopez. Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps. Next week, next Wednesday po ulit tayo. Oh, okay, maraming salamat po. Malacañang Press Corps, salamat. Back to our main
Salamat
studios.
po. Salamat.
Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.